There are a number of problems with this recipe, first of which is that I'm the one reading it. Today I'm making stuffed shirts, spinach pie, from Tika's cookbook and leaves from the inn of the last home. If you've made this recipe, share your thoughts in the comments below. There are two steps in this recipe, making the stuffing and then the crust. This is intimidating, especially when you realize how much filling you have for the tiny amount of crust. I always opt for fresh over frozen or dried ingredients, so for the stuffing I collected 10 ounces of baby spinach, 1/3 cup grated Feta cheese, 1 tablespoon parsley, 1 clove of garlic, 3 tablespoons onions, 1 tablespoon vegetable oil, and for the pastry crust, we have 3/4 cup flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup vegetable shortening, and 2 1/2 tablespoons cold water. I started by rough chopping the spinach, transferring it to my cast iron pan, and cooked it thoroughly. Then, I did my best to squeeze out all of the excess liquid, knowing this is going to be put into a pastry. I did not want a soggy bottom. Now, I chopped the parsley from my yard and added it to the spinach, and added 1/3 cup of feta cheese, mixing it all together as best as I could. This part confused me, as it directed me to saute the garlic and onions after and separate from cooking the spinach. In the future, I will saute them and then add the spinach to cook with it. I crushed and minced the garlic, then took 1/4 of an onion and finely chopped it, adding both and the vegetable oil to the cast iron pan. Then I sauteed them until the onions were translucent, but not brown. I then transferred them into the spinach mixture and continued to mix them all together thoroughly. Setting that aside, I turned to the pastry crust. I mixed the flour and salt together, then cut the shortening into the flour. I mixed it with a fork until it was binding into small crumbling balls. Then added the cold water and stirred it all into the dough consistency. I was doing my best not to use my hands with the first half of the dough as directed, but it didn't roll out well or large enough to seal the spinach in. However, looking at this recipe image online, not all spinach pies are supposed to, so it was just my misunderstanding. I rolled it out to about 1/8 inch thick, then I added half of the spinach mixture. It told me to make a square out of the pastry and fold the corners up and over like an envelope. I did my best, but as you can see, it looks like garbage. The second dough ball, I did end up using my hand, and it worked much better, though there was still not enough dough to seal the pie properly. I put them in the oven at 425 degrees for 15 minutes, or until brown, and mine took nearly 25 minutes to brown in any degree. After letting it cool, I tried 1/3 of each pie, and I have to say, They were delicious, if not attractive. In the future, I will double the dough so that I can seal them perfectly and it will look infinitely better. Remember, we eat with our eyes too. I'll also cook the onions and spinach together. Thank you for tuning in to this Dragonlance recipe episode. This has been Adam with DragonLance Saga, and until next time, Slàinte mhath.